Welcome back to CryptoByte, everyone. As usual, another day, another video. We've got quite a lot to cover, so let's dive straight into it. We're going to be looking at how to analyze crypto tokens properly before investing. Very important article. Also, we had media personality Adam Curry joining Joe Rogan on his podcast and talking about Bitcoin. And a few updates about UniTrade, question and answers. And I'm going to go through the roadmap and why this is very important and what we are going to see about UniTrade in the near future. And this article is about how to analyze crypto tokens properly before investing. Very important article, so let's dive straight into it. And the only way to protect yourself, guys, is by exercising caution to the best of your ability. Because most people, if you ask them about cryptocurrency, they either tell you Bitcoin or blockchain or both. But most people don't even know that there is over 5,000 cryptocurrency currently in the market today, and it's growing exponentially. So with so many options to invest, it can be very challenging to actually find a quality project and not get scammed. So how do you actually follow the 101 rules in investing when it comes to blockchain? And the first thing you guys can do, and you should always do prior to investing or even thinking about investing in a project, is checking the white paper. You need to check the white paper because it will mention the background strategies, it will mention the goals, the concerns, and the timeline of the blockchain related project for successful implementation, which is very important if you're actually doing a trade, and even more important if you're investing for the long term. And see the white paper as a Q&A. So imagine you want to have answers on a certain project, the white paper will have most of those questions. So those questions should always be answered. And those questions would be, what is the unique selling proposition of the project, especially when compared to its competitors? What is the vision and methodology of the project's leaders and how do they plan on being successful? What measures will the company actually take to achieve its goals? And what are the tokens' use cases? Very important question, guys. And the white paper should always answer that. And usually, when I don't get these questions very easily answered in the white paper, if it's not very clear, I usually take a step back and question myself, why have they not put this on the white paper? Are they hiding anything? Is it a scam? So all of these should go through your head before actually making an investment, guys. So if you do read through the white papers thoroughly, most of the time they do have complementary resources such as financial models, analysis, legal concerns, and the most important for me personally is a roadmap for implementation. I like to see a roadmap. You should also find out more about the team leaders because the team obviously is a crucial part of the success of any tokens project, and you should find out if they have worked on any reputable projects before, and obviously if they have any qualification and experience should also be important considerations and a bonus on top of that. So also you have to determine how probable it is to have any legal issues. So you should actually check because you may not be allowed to participate because of your jurisdiction. So that is very clear, guys. You have to check if there's any legal issues. And to avoid this, you just want to make sure that regulators in your country haven't restricted any participation in such tokens before you invest. You also want to verify whether the tokens project is solving a specific problem. And what problem is this token solving and how is it unique? And the final points would be to observe the token sale process. I mean, with ICOs in 2007, it was more easier. But if you you should keep a watch on its progress over time, and there is no reason why a company shouldn't show you its token sales progress. And if they do, please try to avoid such companies at all costs. But you do you, this is not financial advice, this is just my opinion. And if you can, stick to people you can trust because security is still a concern in this space. So stick to people you can trust. And the bottom line here is, if you have done your homework, I'm sure you're actually going to have a sound investment decision and you're going to be actually more interested in the project. Okay, before I'm going to take you on the updates and the team announcements of UniTrade, I want to go through this article very quickly. And it's about how media personality Adam Curry has joined Joe Rogan's podcast recently. I think it was a couple days ago. And telling him that an apocalypse is coming and he should buy himself one Bitcoin, at least one Bitcoin. And we know that Joe Rogan's podcast has hundreds of millions of viewers on a daily basis. So this is going mainstream and more mainstream. Now, Adam Curry gave a stark warning as he spoke on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he clearly told him that the apocalypse is coming and that he will need a Bitcoin, and he will need at least a Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin. I mean, for most people, in the future, a Bitcoin is probably not necessarily, in my opinion. You can buy yourself Satoshis. So you can buy yourself $1, $10, $100 of Bitcoin. You don't actually have to buy yourself a whole Bitcoin. And that's the nice thing about it. You can buy a fraction. So I know Joe Rogan's lifestyle is probably quite high up there. So that's why he probably said you need at least one. But I mean, for most average persons to have even 0.3 Bitcoin, you're going to be one of the top 1% of Bitcoin holders. He also talked about how holding Bitcoin was a better bet than storing money at traditional banks. And a lot has been covered on YouTube recently on how bad the fiat money is actually. So Bitcoin is definitely a better store of value, he said. But despite all of that, Joe Rogan still had some outright reservations, and he asked them a very nice question. Why can't a competing cryptocurrency arise? And isn't there some sort of manipulation we have seen with all the other cryptocurrencies? But what Curry did is he held out on Bitcoin's long-standing position. Very nice answer. What he did say, direct quote, is that 10 years and Bitcoin has been the only one you cannot manipulate. All other coins are based off of it. Very true, guys. We can easily see someone copying the contract of Bitcoin very similarly, changing the name to, let's say, X coin, but it's not going to be the same because it's based off Bitcoin. So why would people invest on something that's based off something if the initial thing is available? So you see how I don't believe in the future there's going to be other currencies that are going to say that we are better than Bitcoin, we do this. I mean, there's different use cases, but I don't think there's anything better than Bitcoin and anything quite like it. Curry also talked about the inflation of the US dollar and how back in the days you were able to buy something and now it is way more expensive for the same product. And you have to think to yourself, same with housing, same with your food, same with motorbikes. Back in the days, why was it cheaper? It's not because it's just more expensive now. It's actually because the dollar has been inflated so badly that what you could get back in the days would cost you 20, even 50 times, sometimes more. And unlike the dollar, Bitcoin's value has only gained. So we have seen thousands and thousands of percentage gain compared to the US dollar, who's actually inflating and going down by 3% every year. But Rogan still didn't seem very convinced. Mainstream is still coming. We still have the phase 5, as Plan B said. Now it's all about mainstream adoption. But when that happens, I believe we're going to see another craze that we have never seen before. And moving on to the updates, the website and team announcement updates from UniTrade. And what they have pretty much done, they have just added a new bar at the top of the page that will start filling up with multiple language selection options. So taking you to the UniTrade website, we can see here that those have already been implemented. We have Mandarin now. And they are claiming that they're going to have multiple selections in the future, which I think is extremely nice for mainstream adoption. But there was an ongoing question on the Q&A, which was if Adrian, who's a developer, is still working on UniTrade, and they have clearly said that Adrian has decided to leave UniTrade to focus on his own projects. But nonetheless, we still have great people developing and working on the UniTrade contract, and now they have done one of the smartest moves I have seen for a long time, and this is basically joining with a professional venture studio, Decent Labs, and they will basically take over the Solidity contract development from here on out. So it's always great to see another company actually go into another firm and asking for help. So I'm very much bullish on UniTrade. Before taking you through the website, I'm gonna go through the Q&A because we had quite some good questions. So I want to cover that with you guys. And the first one would be, if Uniswap decides to issue its own coin, what effects would this have on UniTrade and how will UniTrade react? We know that Uniswap recently raised $11 million for the development of the V3 version of the product. So we had V1 before, now we're on V2 of Uniswap. So if you go to Uniswap, you can see V1, V2. They're working on V3 and they have raised $11 million. And therefore, I don't believe that Uniswap will actually do a coin anytime soon or a token because they don't need to raise additional funds, right? Uniswap and UniTrade are actually not competing. So I don't think this question is very relative, but anyhow, they do complement each other's products. In the end, both benefit from each other. And we want that in crypto, each other benefiting and just seeing main adoption. The next question was, what is UniTrade's relationship with Uniswap? How do we guarantee that Uniswap's users will use UniTrade? What they're doing right now, they are working on quality product. They're trying to provide all of the trading features that Uniswap right now just doesn't offer. And once this is complete, a partnership with Uniswap is always a possibility. So just to make it clear, it's a possibility. A lot of people think that Uniswap and UniTrade are somehow working together, but that's not the case. UniTrade is actually just building on top of Uniswap, using Uniswap's liquidity and just offering people something that they could actually benefit from. What UniTrade is actually doing, they're working on top of Uniswap, using their liquidity to provide such services. And the fifth question that they raised, which was very interesting also, after the official release on September the 30th, what are the plans for after release? And a lot of people obviously want to know what's going to happen after September the 30th and what we can look forward to. Right now, they are only on the development phase, while recently we didn't even have a website. At least right now we have a website. And once the platform is live, you can just simply go to their webpage and use UniTrade very easily. All you need is a Web3 wallet connection, just such as MetaMask. You don't need no account, you don't need no KYC and no limits. And the final one that I found interesting is, will Trade have its own liquidity pool? It's something they will consider maybe in the future, but honestly, from my opinion, I don't think so. I don't see why Trade would need to have their own liquidity because Uniswap is working so good. So what they have actually done is just build services on top of the Uniswap and called it UniTrade. That's pretty much what they have done. So what's UniTrade? UniTrade is basically a DeFi trading platform built from Uniswap. And right now at Uniswap, you can just tap in with no KYC or limits, and it's completely decentralized. And the issue with Uniswap currently is they do not have professional trading tools, and you cannot schedule buys and sells and many other things that UniTrade want to cover. We can see here that the user interface is very nice and friendly, and they're going to be building on top of Uniswap's liquidity pools, as I told you guys earlier, and using the trading volume on Uniswap, which has currently a 40% market share among other DEXs. So why does this matter? Why would you be using UniTrade? Well, you would be using UniTrade for a few reasons. The first reason would be that you have automated trades. You will be able to buy or sell something at a target price. You can also schedule buys and sells, so you can, through the platform, very seamlessly schedule recurring buy orders or sell orders called DCA. Basically, we call it DCA, dollar cost averaging. If you've heard that quite a lot, UniTrade lets you do that also. Now we've got liquidity management. You can maximize your earnings by setting breakpoints that will add or remove your liquidity pairs from Uniswap pools. So most of the time, if you do have liquidity on Uniswap, sometimes there is going to be breakpoints where you're actually going to go down on negatives and you might actually be liquidated. So it's very important to have liquidity management. You also have charts and analytics and a live order book. Very pretty, guys. I mean, Uniswap is already eating from the centralized exchanges volumes, and I can see how UniTrade is just giving Uniswap another boost on that. But what is the token for? Why would you buy the token? Okay, for a few reasons. And the first one would be that small fees in Ether are collected when you trade on UniTrade. Those fees, what do you do with them? Well, firstly, it's going to be 10% on contract operations. So 60% of those fees are going to be directly used to buy more trade tokens from the Uniswap liquidity pool and burn them. So it's initially being burned. And the juiciest one would be the rewards. That's why I believe most people have trade tokens right now. And that's why a lot of people are getting interested in it, because you actually get 30% of those fees. Okay, you are getting 30% of the fees that are collected from UniTrade. And if this actually works out, and it does have a volume of 100+ million, you can see how a lot of people are getting rewarded very nicely. And this is what I was talking about earlier, the roadmap. The roadmap, this is what I like the most. So we see here early August what they have done, bam bam bam. We can see here September the 11th, which is only 3 days away, that the development beta launch is coming. I think that's going to be a huge hype. September the 14th, 3 days after, third-party security audit from reputable firm. That is nice also. And then we've got the end of September, UniTrade official platform launch. Also, they have a very great team of engineers, founders, and software development firm, Decent Labs. And you can start trading UniTrade today using those exchanges here, and obviously Uniswap. So I personally would prefer to buy it from Uniswap, and I do recommend buying from Uniswap because it's all about decentralization. We do want to push that out there. So it's all about supporting Uniswap and UniTrade. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. And do leave me a comment below about how you analyze actually your crypto token investments. Do you read the white paper? Do you do all of that before investing? Or are you just a person that just invests? Let me know. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.